The water's squirting up from the bottom. You'll see it in the back corner.
Oh, yeah. Do we know if it's fresh or salt?
Don't know.
What Rick Lagina just uncovered in Oak Island Season 13 isn't just another clue. It's a discovery that could shatter everything we thought we knew about pirate history. Buried deep beneath layers of earth for over 300 years, a hidden fortune worth millions has finally begun to surface. But what lies beneath is far more dangerous than anyone expected. As the team digs deeper, they uncover evidence of deadly flood tunnels, intricate traps, and coded symbols that point towards something far bigger, a secret pirate banking network operating in the shadows of the Atlantic. Every scan, every signal, and every artifact is leading to a truth that was never meant to be revealed. This isn't just treasure. It's a mystery engineered to stay hidden forever. Before we go further, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because what you're about to witness could be the most shocking Oak Island discovery ever recorded. In Oak Island Season 13, Rick Lagina was left stunned when an ancient leather-bound journal unexpectedly surfaced in Halifax. The pages were worn, the ink nearly erased by time, but the message hidden within was impossible to ignore. It pointed to a massive treasure buried deep beneath Oak Island, guarded by encoded maps that hinted at a path through the island's deadly flood tunnels. As historians and experts carefully examined the fragile pages, connections began to appear, links to infamous pirate captains from the late 1600s, men who once sailed the Atlantic with enormous riches that mysteriously disappeared without a trace. Rick studied every detail, symbols, markings, and strange patterns, spotting a mix of Templar imagery, Masonic designs, and classic pirate insignias. Slowly, a powerful theory began to form. Oak Island wasn't just a myth or a lost treasure site. It may have been a highly organized transatlantic vault, a hidden banking system used by rogue traders and privateers to store their wealth far from prying empires. Old geological surveys from the 1800s suddenly started making sense when compared with modern sonar data. Beneath the money pit, multiple underground chambers appeared, far too precise and structured to be natural formations. Stories once dismissed as folklore of buried chests and trapped tunnels now felt disturbingly real. With rising tension, the team prepared advanced drilling rigs and cutting-edge scanning tools. Every sound, every movement in the ground carried a sense of warning, but the thrill of discovery pushed them forward. Using ground-penetrating radar and multi-frequency sonar, they identified massive voids beneath the surface, layered chambers aligned with unnatural precision. Rick then cross-checked historical pirate routes and logs from the 18th century, uncovering compelling reasons why treasure would be secretly transported to Nova Scotia, hidden away from British and Spanish forces. Even more shocking, the scans revealed a complex network of flood tunnels, engineered to redirect ocean water during high tides, a centuries-old defense system built to protect something incredibly valuable. Then came a critical breakthrough, a deep vertical shaft never seen before, extending far beyond previous excavation limits. Reinforced with ancient timber and metal, it had survived the pressure of centuries. Despite the risk of collapse, Rick's determination never wavered. The possibility of uncovering gold, jewels, and priceless artifacts was simply too great. As excavation continued, the team finally came face to face with a massive oak door, reinforced with iron that seemed untouched by time. Carved into its surface were mysterious symbols, pirate emblems, celestial markers, and cryptic coordinates, each one telling a piece of a long-forgotten story. Scattered nearby were rusted keys, carved tokens, and coins, dating from 1690 to 1720, like a trail leading straight into history itself. Rick began to believe this wasn't just a treasure chamber. It was something much bigger, a hidden transatlantic bank, where pirate fortunes were stored and moved between Nova Scotia, the Caribbean, and Europe. Above ground, storm clouds rolled in, casting dark shadows over the money pit, as if nature itself understood the gravity of what was unfolding. The atmosphere grew heavy. The crew stood ready, knowing they were moments away from opening a door that had remained sealed for centuries. But beyond that ancient barrier lay something far more dangerous than treasure. The pirates who built this underground system didn't just hide their wealth. They designed a fortress filled with traps and defenses unlike anything seen before. As lightning cracked across the sky and shadows flickered across the site, the team prepared for the descent. Hearts racing, they stood at the edge of history, about to take a step that could either make them legends or become their final chapter. The moment had finally arrived. There was no way back now. Whatever lay hidden in the depths below had the power to completely overturn everything historians believed about pirates and their intelligence. But before uncovering that truth, the team had to make it through a deadly underground system, engineered centuries ago to destroy anyone who dared enter. In Oak Island Season 13, the descent began. The rope ladder swayed violently as the crew carefully climbed down into the tight, vertical shaft. With every step, they sank deeper into darkness, leaving behind the safety of daylight. Flashlight beams cut through the pitch black, reflecting off wet stone walls and decaying wooden supports, while handheld scanners hummed softly, mapping the unknown below. Each creak of the ladder and groan of ancient timbers echoed like a warning. The walls felt like they were closing in, suffocating and tight. One mistake here wouldn't just mean failure, it could mean being buried alive. The air was thick, filled with the smell of damp earth, rust, and rotting wood, as if the past itself was still alive down there. Rick's eyes moved constantly, scanning every shadow, not just searching for treasure, but for danger. The ancient structure groaned under their weight, forcing him to call for extreme caution as engineers debated reinforcement. Every step had to be precise. One wrong move could trigger a collapse and trap them forever beneath tons of debris. As they moved deeper, small relics began to appear. Coins wedged into cracks, worn medallions, broken tools. Some carried pirate markings, others linked to early privateers who had once navigated this hidden maze. Each item felt like a whisper from history, proof that this place had been active centuries ago. Then suddenly, everything changed. A faint, golden reflection shimmered across the chamber wall. At first, it looked like nothing, just a flicker in the darkness, but the crew froze instantly. They knew. This was it. Slowly, they moved closer. Shadows stretched across the stone as the light revealed a hidden alcove, untouched, silent, waiting. The tension was electric. Every heartbeat echoed louder than the last. And then they stepped inside. What they saw erased all doubt. Stacks of gold bars lined the chamber, resting on old wooden pallets. Pirate symbols were carved into their surfaces, glowing under the flickering light. Nearby, massive oak chests overflowed with coins, gemstones, necklaces, and ancient jewelry, some dating back centuries, others clearly added later for safekeeping. Rick placed his hand on one of the chests, feeling the rough wood beneath his fingers. The weight of history was real. The value, estimated at over $110 million, almost impossible to comprehend. Later analysis would confirm origins from Spain, France, and the Caribbean, all dating between 1650 and 1720. The legends were true, but celebration had to wait. Extraction was now the real challenge. The treasure sat unstable, balanced on fragile supports. One wrong move could send everything crashing. Acting fast, the team set up pulley systems, carefully lowering each piece with extreme precision. Every movement was controlled, calculated, turning recovery into a high-risk operation. The chamber buzzed with adrenaline, until suddenly, everything went wrong. Hidden defenses activated, ancient traps designed centuries ago came alive. Pressure systems triggered a violent flood as water surged into the chamber through unseen tunnels. Panic spread instantly, but the team reacted fast. Pumps roared to life. Barriers were thrown into place. Everyone moved in sync, fighting the rising water. Rick stood there, stunned, not in fear, but in awe of the engineering. These weren't simple traps. They were masterpieces of 17th century design. Brilliant, ruthless, and built to last forever. Water levels rose quickly, the chamber filled with chaos. Rushing currents, shouted commands, and creaking wood under pressure. Above them, a storm exploded across Oak Island. Lightning tore through the sky, thunder shaking the ground, as if nature itself was protecting the secret. Still, the team pushed forward. Every second mattered. Every decision could mean success or disaster. They were standing on the edge between victory and total loss. And yet, the gold wasn't the real discovery. Hidden inside the chests were sealed documents, ancient, preserved, and far more valuable than any treasure. Journals, coded maps, and records that revealed a truth no one expected. Oak Island wasn't just a hiding place. It was part of something much bigger. A vast transatlantic network, a secret system connecting pirates across continents. Trade routes, alliances, betrayals, all documented in fading ink. As Rick and the team stood there, soaked and exhausted, they didn't fully realize it yet. The real treasure wasn't the gold, it was the knowledge, powerful enough to rewrite history itself. Rick leaned over the fragile pages, studying every detail as if the answers were hiding between each fading line of ink. The handwriting was strange, almost coded, filled with names, dates, and locations that didn't point to just one place, but something much larger. It suggested that Oak Island was never meant to stand alone. It was part of a massive transatlantic chain of hidden pirate vaults. Symbols carved into the margins matched the markings found on the treasure itself, on chests, coins, even the chamber walls. This wasn't random decoration. It was a deliberate language, a system pirates used to protect and track their wealth across oceans. Buried within the journals were maps, fragmented, incomplete, but enough to hint at more chambers still hidden beneath Oak Island, possibly untouched for centuries. In Oak Island Season 13, Rick and the team spent hours decoding what they could, slowly connecting pieces of the puzzle. Names began to surface, legends like William Kidd and Blackbeard. Each connection made the discovery feel more real and far more dangerous. This wasn't just treasure anymore. It was proof of an organized pirate banking system. Debates quickly followed. Should they reveal everything? Or would exposing this secret trigger chaos? Treasure hunters, criminals, even global conflict over hidden riches. The tension wasn't just about history now, it was about consequences. While the mystery deepened, Juan and the engineering team shifted focus to the extraction. Precision became everything. Reinforced pulleys were installed, silent lifting systems calibrated, and specialized carts designed to move the treasure without triggering ancient traps. Every bar of gold, every chest was lifted slowly, carefully, measured, recorded, preserved. Rick knew from past failures that rushing meant disaster. Here, patience mattered more than strength. The work was brutal. Hours in tight, dark tunnels pushed everyone to their limits. But even in that pressure, moments of laughter echoed through the chamber, small reminders that they were still human in a place frozen in time. Then night fell, and everything changed again. Extraction continued under darkness to avoid attention. Every sound felt louder, the creak of wood, the scrape of metal, even the wind above. Shadows flickered across the walls, playing tricks on the mind. The crew moved in perfect sync, knowing one mistake could destroy everything. Above ground, something unsettling appeared. Strange lights flickered through the tree line, faint, distant, but real. Someone else might have been watching. Security tightened instantly. Cameras were set up, guards deployed, alarms checked repeatedly. At the same time, a violent storm rolled in. Rain poured down, lightning split the sky, and the already fragile structure groaned under pressure. Water began seeping into lower tunnels. Rick was forced to make impossible decisions: move faster and risk collapse, or slow down and risk losing everything. Then, disaster nearly struck. A pulley suddenly snapped. A chest loaded with gold swung violently through the air, barely missing the chamber wall. For a split second, everything froze. Then the team reacted. Fast, precise, controlled. They knew one wrong move could undo months of work in seconds. Thunder roared above, water rushed below, shadows danced across the cavern walls. It felt less like a dig and more like survival. Every second carried weight. Every movement mattered, because now there was no doubt left. Oak Island wasn't a legend anymore. It was real, and it was alive beneath their feet. As dawn finally broke, Rick Lagina stood at the edge of the money pit, watching as the final pieces of the $110 million treasure were lifted into the light. The golden glow reflected in his eyes, but his thoughts were already racing ahead. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The journals, artifacts, and coded maps weren't just proof. They were directions, clues pointing to an entire network of hidden pirate vaults spread across continents. This discovery wouldn't just change history, it would rewrite it completely. But with great discovery comes danger. As word of the find began to leak, Rick and his team felt it. Something had been awakened, something long buried, and the deeper they looked, the clearer it became. Inside the chamber, the treasure told another story. Alongside gold and jewels were strange instruments, compasses, carved symbols, navigation tools, each one marked with pirate insignias. These weren't just artifacts, they were keys to roots, to secrets, to power. Among the discoveries were ship logs and faded letters, still readable despite their age. They revealed a hidden world, smuggling operations, secret alliances, and brotherhoods that had never appeared in official history. Piece by piece, everything connected. Oak Island wasn't the treasure. It was just one location, in a much larger system, stretching from the Caribbean to Europe and North America. The realization hit hard. Some crew members could only stand there in silence, staring at history, not as something written in books, but as something alive, breathing, and finally uncovered. Some of the crew stood frozen, while others tried to ignore the growing sense of dread. They all understood the reality. Every excavation, Every step deeper into the island came with real danger, collapse, flooding, or something even worse, discovery by people who would do anything for gold. Soon, the team found themselves facing a difficult question. Do they keep pushing forward in search of glory, or step back to protect the fragile history beneath them? Every choice now felt heavier than ever, caught between ambition, responsibility, and survival. Rick stood silently at the edge of the money pit, rain pouring down his jacket as flashes of lightning lit up the gold below. The view was unreal, a perfect mix of triumph and danger, wrapped in a mystery that refused to end. It felt as if the island itself was alive, whispering that this story was far from over. The journals, the maps, the artifacts, they all pointed to something deeper. More chambers, greater treasures, connections to pirate empires that were believed to be lost forever beneath the ocean. The storm intensified. Wind roared through the trees as rain hammered the ground, turning Oak Island into something more than just a dig site. It felt like a challenge, a test for anyone brave enough to chase its secrets. Every chest recovered, every compass found, every carved symbol. It all spoke like echoes from the past, pushing the team to go further. Because with every answer came even bigger questions. Yes, Oak Island had finally revealed one of its greatest secrets. But its story was still alive, still waiting. And then there it was, Rick Lagina's unbelievable $110 million discovery. A find that completely shattered everything we thought we knew about pirate history. But this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The recovered journals and maps reveal something even bigger. At least 7 more massive treasure sites scattered across North America and the Caribbean, each one potentially worth hundreds of millions. So now the real question isn't whether more treasure exists, it's whether Rick and his team are willing to risk everything to find it. Because if those ancient records are telling the truth, Oak Island was never the final destination. It was only the vault. The real pirate stronghold is still out there, hidden, waiting, and possibly even more dangerous. So what do you think? Should Rick follow these deadly clues to the very end? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this discovery shocked you, and subscribe for more unbelievable treasure stories that challenge history itself. Because the Oak Island mystery is only just beginning.